I read a story this weekend, and it made me cry. It caused me to have to stop what I was doing. I had to take some time and go grieve for a while. I had to take some hours out of my day this weekend. And the story is that UTEP quarterback Kai Locksley was arrested. He's in some legal trouble. He was suspended by the UTEP football team. And I don't know Kai Locksley at all. I've never met him. I'd never even heard about him until I read this story about him. I do know of his dad. I've never met his dad. Don't really know much about his dad, but I know that his dad is the University of Maryland head coach, Michael Locksley. Now, the most important part of this story, to me, was at the very bottom of the ABC News article that I read. It's the very last line, and it was treated kind of like a throwaway line. It was treated as if it was something that barely mattered to the story. And, when I read it, I went, oh. And to me, it was the whole story. What I read was that 2 years ago, Kai Locksley's brother was shot and killed. And right there, I broke down. I got on my phone. I DM'd Kai Locksley on Instagram. I sent him my phone number. He hasn't reached out. Hasn't responded to me yet. But then I put on my Instagram story, hey, if anybody can get me in touch with Kai Locksley, please help me do that. I was very intense about it. It really matters to me. Because this is a guy, to me, who has made a mistake, who screwed up, and who needs compassion. I mean, the article said his brother was killed 2 years ago. That's not even true. It's been less than 2 years since his brother died. And my guess is that Kai Locksley is hurting a lot. And I legitimately, if anyone listening can get me in touch with Kai Locksley, please help me do that. I really want to talk to him. My brother died almost 3 years ago, little over 3 years ago. And I still cry about it often. It's still a thing that really impacts me today. And I know how much that kind of loss can destroy you. When my brother died, I did not know how to grieve. Didn't know how to deal with it. I dropped out of college. My long-term relationship fell apart. I was a complete mess. And I did not know how to deal with everything. And here's something I've never shared publicly. I don't know that even my dad knows this. I was so lost and so upset. I wasn't grieving the loss of my brother. And I became really reckless. I got to the point where, I had all these emotions. I wasn't dealing with them. And I was not suicidal, but I was in a place where if something really bad happened to kill me, that would have been okay. Because I just did not care about the consequences of my actions. Here's what I would do. What I would do is I would get really cheap whiskey. I would drink a whole bottle. I would puke a bunch, get really drunk. And then I would get in my car and I would drive around hoping that something bad happened to me. That's how dark it was. That's how bad things were. And I saw the parallels because I read the story about Kai Locksley. Dude was arrested in his car doing some dumb stuff. And it just struck a chord with me. I was like, man. And I say all of this because I want people to know. And Kai, if you're listening, I know how hard it is to lose a brother. I know what that's like. And I desperately would like to talk to you. Kai, if you're watching, please get in touch with me. I want to talk to you. I'd love to help you if I can. And maybe that's not my role in all of this. Maybe my role is just to share a story and someone else watching knows who he is and can help him. But when bad things in our lives happen, you have two options. You can either let it ruin your life, or you can use that pain, use that experience to become a better, stronger person. And it's not too late for you, Kai. Kai, you can make a change. You got to grieve the loss of your brother. So my door is wide open. I would love to get in touch with you. If anyone listening can help me, please, I want to talk to this guy. I see a guy struggling. He just needs help and compassion. And I don't think the media is getting it right about this story. Maybe I'm way off base. I don't think so, though. When my brother died, it almost ruined my life. And I don't want that same thing to happen to this guy, Kai Locksley, a fellow quarterback, a guy who's clearly struggling. And I just thought this message was too important. I had to share this because Kai, again, I would love to talk to you. I sent you my phone number. Give me a phone call. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to help you if I can. And by the way, everybody listening can learn from this. No matter how old you are, no matter what kind of person is listening to this podcast, everybody listening can learn from this story. And that's that you're going to experience a brutal loss at some point in your life. Maybe multiple. Like, that's the sad reality of planet Earth. It sucks, but that's true. You have brutal, hard losses. And you got to learn how to grieve those losses. You don't move on. When your brother dies, you don't really move on. It doesn't go away. It's not like, oh, I'm over it now. No, I will always grieve the loss of my brother. It will always be something that bothers me. But what you can do is move forward. I tried to move forward with my life, and it took me about 1.5 years to figure all that out. But what I couldn't do is I couldn't move forward until I grieved the loss of my brother. I could be way off base. I don't think I am. I think that's what's going on with this quarterback. It's a guy who needs to deal with the loss because he's doing dumb stuff. He's being reckless. And I've been there. And if I can help that situation at all, please, Kai, reach out to me. And if anyone else listening can help him, send him that message. Is that, man, you got to use this experience to become a stronger person. Don't let it ruin your life. I almost did. Please don't let that happen to you.